I know you also wrote an article about this. Browns are going to be cautious with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I guess they were surprised they could get Tyler Huntley. Take us through that and what you found out in that article.
Well, when it comes to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, as I mentioned, everyone seems to forget because he's flown under the radar that he suffered a somewhat significant hip injury on December 24th in Houston when he went into that game to relieve Joe Flacco. And I just remember seeing him in the week after that. He was on a crutch. He was walking through the locker room. I talked to him for a second, really by myself. And I asked him about it, and he just said, my hip is messed up. I mean, and he sounded down about it. He seemed kind of dejected about it. It had just recently happened, and he was still sort of in the shock of it all. And it just didn't sound good at the time. And when we asked Andrew Berry about it at the meetings on Tuesday, he said, of course, we're going to be cautious with all of our players coming off injury. And that didn't sound to me like, hey, he's going out there in the offseason program and he's going to be 100% and he's absolutely fine and he's ready to roll. I did not get necessarily that vibe from it. So I think they're going to play it a little bit slow with him. And I think they were very surprised to get Tyler Huntley because I came to find out when I was at the meetings that he had a chance, I believe, to go to Pittsburgh. That was the way that it was presented to me. But then when Justin Fields signed there, that kind of went by the wayside. He became available. He ends up here, and the Browns are happy to have him, not just in his own right, but because there might be a little bit of time in the offseason program where they have to rely on him and Jameis Winston a little more than they can Deshaun and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Certainly explains why they got Huntley in addition to Jameis Winston as well, with Dorian Thompson-Robinson being banged up and them not wanting to rush him.
That's part of it, but when you look back to last offseason, they also had 4 quarterbacks last offseason. So I think there's a world in which they would have done it anyway, but it still certainly helps knowing that they've got 2 quarterbacks coming off of season-ending injuries.